Back in 2018, Rodions Kurucs was drafted by the Brooklyn Nets as the 40th overall pick in the second round. Usually, players drafted this late get stashed away in G League or sit on the bench and never get to play. It's a process that goes on for a couple of years before the player gets traded or released, and then moves on to a different franchise to do pretty much the same thing, or goes to Europe to play some meaningful minutes there. Hey guys, hope you're doing awesome. Purple Prince here, and today I want to tell you about the fall of Rodions Kurucs. Rodions Kurucs is a 6'9", 220-pound forward from Latvia. He started his professional career at just 16 years old with the Latvian basketball club VF Riga. After a year there, he signed a 4-year contract with Barcelona from the Spanish ACB League. He got into a great basketball system and seemingly had a bright future. He spent his first year playing with Barcelona's junior club, and after turning 18 years old, joined the Barcelona reserve team. Soon after, he made his debut in the ACB League. He didn't get much playing time though, as he participated in only 6 games and averaged 2.3 points in 7.2 minutes. He initially entered the 2017 NBA draft, but later withdrew from it and entered the 2018 draft a year later. Kurucs was the 40th overall choice by the Brooklyn Nets. He proved himself in practice and signed a multi-year contract with the Nets. Nobody knew it back then, and who could have predicted that the 40th pick would become such a meaningful contributor for the Nets? He was used sparingly during the first quarter of the 2018-19 NBA season. He had 3 double-digit point games, registered DNPs in 10 games, and was inactive 7 other times. But when he was on the court, he did some good things. That was a season before KD and Kyrie, so Brooklyn really didn't have any superstars. It was all about team play. And Kurucs was doing well in his role. By mid-season, he was already a full-time starter at the forward spot for the Nets. He rebounded the ball, shot the 3 a bit, and even played defense. He was sort of like this all-around player for the Nets. He had 2 20-plus point outings and several double-digit point games. It was all good in Brooklyn. He started to struggle a bit towards the end of the season, but nonetheless, for a second-round pick, his rookie season was a success. In total, he played 63 games, started 46 of them, and averaged 8.5 points and 3.9 rebounds in 20.5 minutes per game. The 2019-20 NBA season couldn't start worse though. Strictly basketball-wise, his role was gonna change. With the arrival of KD and Kyrie, it was clear that his opportunities are going to be severely limited, especially on offense. The off-court stuff he was involved in didn't help him either. Before the start of his second NBA season, Kurucs was arrested for allegedly choking, slapping, biting, and pushing a woman with whom he had a romantic relationship. That's an allegation that no team in no sports wants on their radar, and not to try to somehow say that one accusation is worse than the other, but when you're not a top-level talent and are still in your second year, it is so damning for your career. With all the court dates and added levels of scrutiny, Kurucs started to fade. With all the added talent level on the team, Kurucs was falling out of the Brooklyn Nets rotation. He wasn't a starter anymore. He played just 14.6 minutes per game and averaged only 4.6 points for his second NBA season. By the start of his third season in the league, it was clear that Kurucs isn't a part of the Brooklyn Nets' future plans. He ended up playing in just 5 games before being involved in a trade that sent James Harden to the Nets. Okay, new city, new organization, an organization that actually will play young players because it isn't contending for anything. Seems like a great fit, right? Well, not necessarily. Kurucs had the worst 11-game stretch of his career, as he averaged just 1.2 points on 23.8% shooting from the field and 13.3% from the 3-point line. Seeing as he's not a part of the Houston Rockets' future either, he was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. Just a couple of days later, Kurucs pleaded guilty to a charge of disorderly conduct, his arrest back in 2019. That certainly isn't news you want to make when you're on your third team looking to revive your NBA career. He had to complete a 16-week domestic violence program. Yikes. On the basketball court, he only got garbage time minutes. In total, he appeared in just 5 games for the Bucks before being waived. Nobody picked him up, and last summer, no NBA team signed him. So he returned to Europe. He signed with Partizan from the Serbia League, went back to his roots so to speak, to possibly revive his basketball career there. So far, it hasn't looked too impressive. He's not playing much in the Serbian league and is playing even less in the Euro Cup. He's averaging 5.2 points and 15.5 minutes per game in Serbia and 3.1 points and 12.8 minutes per game in Euro Cup. Recently, he had an even worse performance for the Latvian national basketball team during the FIBA World Qualifiers. In his first game, Kurucs scored just 7 points in more than 26 minutes of action. He also had 5 rebounds and 5 turnovers. And if you thought his first game was bad, how about the second one? Kurucs fouled out in less than 13 minutes, had only 1 point, missed both of his field goal attempts, and had 2 turnovers. He was one of few guys on that team with NBA experience. He was supposed to be one of the leaders of his national team, yet he wasn't. He was outright bad. It remains to be seen whether he can get his career back on the right track. He's still very young, so if anything is on his side, it's time. Look, he probably wasn't going to be NBA superstar, that we know, but judging by performance during his rookie season, he had a chance to be a marginal starter or a good rotational player. Maybe even powered it out and be a good sixth man. He could have had a lengthy NBA career being a good rotational piece. Just 3 years ago, he was a starter on a playoff team. Now he can't get much playing time on a team in Serbia. That's quite a fall from grace. He can still make it, obviously, but his return to the NBA doesn't look to be close. But what do you think, guys? Can Rodions Kurucs ever come back to the NBA? If not NBA, can he become one of Europe's best players? What does his future in basketball look like to you? Please leave a comment down below. Don't forget to leave a like for the video, subscribe to the channel, and enable bell notifications. Thank you very much for watching. This was Purple Prince, and I'm out.